All right, so we focus throughout today here on ENCA about the lack of infrastructure, especially within the agricultural sector. We know how bad and how dangerous it is to drive on our roads as normal passenger vehicles. Imagine trying to run a farm, get your produce out to the various markets with the condition of our roads, all leading as well to food insecurity. We've spoken about this and we've touched on it in the past. Today we're going to deep dive, deeper than a pothole, if you will. Farmers are struggling to get to their markets due to the poor state of our country's roads. Lots of plans, they've been derailed. Let's not even talk about rail in our country and why that's not working. But just what is the daily impact? What's the impact on the agriculture sector? We're going to start wide, we're going to narrow in throughout today. AgriSA's Christo van der Rheede making time for us this morning. Hello, Christo. Good morning. I appreciate your time. Cindy Mabi out for us in Limpopo. We're going to go up there in just a second, get a sense of what it's like to operate a farm in that area. From the business side, from the agriculture sector side though, Christo, good morning. How badly does this affect an organisation like AgriSA and farms?
Good morning, and good morning to all of your viewers. It's always a pleasure to engage with you. The exports, agricultural exports, has hit an all-time low in the region of 220 billion rand. That's the total value of our exports to the rest of the world. And what is important is to know that most of these commodities are exported via trucks to get to markets, to get to harbors, to get to retailers, and so forth. And this dilapidated state of our roads has had a major impact on the way we transport our goods to the markets. It has really impacted very negatively on the efficiency and the effectiveness of road freight. And yes, farmers are experiencing a lot of losses, but currently farmers have to fork out a lot of money to maintain their trucks and to maintain the roads themselves.
And we're talking about this road up where Cindy is at the moment, one of the farmers that she was speaking to earlier. I stand to be corrected, I think his name was Nico, saying how bad the roads are for their own vehicles. Now the problem here, Christo, as well, we're going to talk solutions in a second, is when you say from AgriSA that farmers are having to fork out more money to do anything, we all know as consumers that means we end up paying more as well. So there's a bottom line hit for consumers here, isn't there?
Indeed, it has a spillover impact because somewhere along the value chain, this cost must be absorbed. And sadly, though, it's consumers that then experience the brunt of it. Remember, farmers at this point in time face load shedding. In other words, we have to fork out millions to purchase diesel, to install alternative energy sources such as solar panels, as well as generators. Secondly, farmers have to fork out millions to protect themselves on farms. Farm workers, farmers are victims of criminals that are really brutal in their ways, especially when they target farmers and farm workers. And then, in addition to it, farmers must now fork out monies to maintain roads. I know some of our big agribusinesses are already spending a lot of money to just maintain roads. And the big question is, for how long can the agriculture sector really absorb all of these additional costs?
We're also asking our viewers this morning, I'm sure our team will get this for me in a couple of moments, our viewer question this morning, Christo, we'll bring it up on the screen when they grab it for me, is private and public partnerships when it comes to road infrastructure especially as well. And there it is for us. So we're asking our viewers, Christo, to go and vote on our website. Yes or no, do you believe public-private partnerships are the solution to our crippling road infrastructure problem? So it's a simple yes or no on our website, enca.com, Christo. But what would you say? Would you vote yes or no? Is public-private the way to go?
Indeed. But remember now, our farmers already pay their taxes. And it is absolutely unfair and unethical to allow your provincial administration that's responsible for roads, especially your national administration and your municipalities, to get away with murder. They must be held accountable, because the big question is what happened to our taxes? I know Sanral is doing quite a lot of a good job in terms of maintaining our national road infrastructure, and for that we're very, very thankful. But we've tried to engage with the DG of Transport. We've tried to engage with the Minister of Transport last year. I had been in contact with them personally, but just no response. We've tried to engage with municipalities. We've tried to engage with provincial administrations that's responsible for roads, but just no response. And that's the sad part. We've got a cadre of people that are appointed in positions that are getting paid to do their jobs that just don't care, it seems. And for us, it's one thing to say, right, we need public-private partnerships, but then the public part of the private ship of the partnership needs to come to the table and tell us exactly what are the shortcomings and how can we assist. And then the other big thing is, remember, if you start working on a public road as a private individual, you can be held liable. You can be held liable if anything goes wrong on that road. And that issue has not been ironed out. That was an issue that AgriSA raised with the presidency last year when we had a network gathering on how can we assist to revise the economy. But it seems to me from the state side, it is just all talk, but very little action. And that's the big challenge that we as farmers face. Farmers are people that won't sit back and say, let's allow this thing to go to ruins. We jump in immediately and we spend the money because ultimately we are in service of South Africa. We are there to provide food. We are there to execute a constitutional obligation as embedded in Section 27 of the Constitution. Our people must eat. Imagine our country goes hungry, there's large-scale famine. What will happen to all of us?
We're busy looking at a live image. Here it is on screen for our viewers, Christo. I'm not sure if you can see it, but that's actually one of the roads up in All Days in Limpopo, one of the farming roads. You can see there's really nothing left of it as well. We're going to go to Cindy Mabi and our team in a moment, but I want to end off very briefly, if you can, Christo. I appreciate your time. When we say we're on a road to infrastructure or on the road to food insecurity, are we on the road there, or do we have a food insecurity issue in our country? Are we still getting there, hitting the potholes on the way, or are we already got a flat tire standing on the side of the road? Very briefly.
No, we are not food insecure. Thankfully to our farmers that really go out of their way. But this has become a cost issue. I've just recently visited areas such as Meer in the Northern Cape, areas in Bethlehem in the Free State, Northwest Limpopo, especially the Free State. It's horrible. You literally have to drive on the side of the road. My big question is, what does it take for a municipal official or a municipality to just fix the pothole? What does it take? Or as we've gone to the extent that people just don't care anymore, and it now becomes a liability for the entire South African economy.
And I think you're echoing the sentiments of many residents, farmers, businesses. What is so difficult? Just fill the road. I was in Allen's Neck a couple of weeks ago, and residents have been saying, just at a school near where they live, the road's been that bad for 3 years now, and just they don't understand what is taking so long. So, Christo, I think you're echoing exactly how the country is feeling this morning, and I thank you for your time. AgriSA's Christo van der Rheede joining us this morning.